stranger. Wait, please. I have a favor to ask of you.
I have a feeling you want something of me.
Yes, I do. You know, I'm so troubled, and I have nowhere to turn. And you just wandered by so opportunely that it can't be a coincidence. There's a powerful protective charm I desperately need. A Thunderstone. It's a great rarity. But Tomlin Bruthans from Horshan has one. He just won't let me have it. The thing is, he sometimes wages it in fights.
I think I understand now. But what about your husband? Couldn't he take care of it?
He tried, of course. As soon as I heard Tomlin had one, I sent Stamir over there right away. But the poor wretch came back black and blue.
What is a Thunderstone?
Well, they're formed when there's a violent storm with forks of lightning and peals of thunder. The biggest of these are Thunderstones. They fall from the sky with a mighty boom and burrow deep into the earth. After a while, they work their way back up to the surface. And if you're lucky, that's where you'll find them.
What does a Thunderstone look like?
Well, from what I saw of Tomlin's, it's the size of a grown man's fist. Perhaps a tad bigger. Sort of elongated and curiously shaped. It's flat on one side and has a round hole through the middle.
What can these stones do?
Well, lots of things. If you have one, it protects you from all harm, helps you in battle, and brings good luck. It also wards off and cures diseases. And if you put it into the rafters of your cottage, you'll be protected from fire and all manner of other calamities.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you want me to fight Tomlin and win the stone for you?
Well, yeah. And I know I'm asking a lot, but I'm really desperate. And I have no one else to turn to. I prayed fervently to the Virgin Mary and implored her for help. And now you've shown up. Besides, by the looks of you, you have the strength of a bull, perhaps two. So she surely sent you to help me.
Why are you so desperate for this piece of rock?
That's my business.
Look, if I'm to help you, I need to know what you're going to do with this stone. I don't want to get caught up in any witchcraft.
This is no witchcraft. It's just... Fine. Listen, I'm afraid for my child. And myself. All my babies died shortly after birth. Bless their souls. And birthing is very hard for me. I nearly died last time. The stone has the power to help me and protect my next infant. That's why I want it.
Look, this Tomlin seems pretty handy. I'd have to be darked in the head to fight someone like that. Especially when there's another way. What if he were to just lose the stone? These things happen, don't they?
You mean... No, that wouldn't do. You're asking for trouble if you steal something like that. It would cause very bad luck. Besides, I'm of honest stock.
Well, I understand. No offense, I just wanted to look at all our options.
A fair fight is our only hope, believe me.
All right, I'll help with your trouble.
Mary, Mother of Mercy, thanks be to the both of you. This means so much to me.
Save your thanks for when I bring it to you.
I shall. Don't you worry about that. We've got some groschen put by, so you'll be handsomely rewarded. I'm also on good terms with Hannah, so I could put a word in for you at the stud farm. She'll give a generous discount if you want to buy a horse from her. And I'll pray and intercede for you, I swear.
Hold on. You said the stone helps its owner in a fight.
Among other things. Yes, that's what I heard.
So how the hell am I supposed to beat Tomlin when he's got the power of this stone on his side?
Well, it won't be easy. You're right about that. You can talk to Stamir. He fought Tomlin, so he might have some ideas. Or, over in Horshan, I think the lads there wrestle a lot, and Tomlin is in charge of that. That might help. Most importantly, keep your hopes up, and don't let him intimidate you. Ours is a just cause. So Lady Fortune and all the saints are sure to be on your side, and that must count for something.
Thanks for the advice. I'll just have to give it a try and see what happens.
Thank you. You're so brave. See you later, my friend.
Hey you, Zdimir. I need to talk to you about your fight with Tomlin.
I got battered, and I'm not proud of it, so I'd rather not dwell on it.
Look, I want to help Kona get that stone, so I could really use your experience.
Ah, I see. All right then. And thanks a lot for wanting to help us.
So tell me, how can I beat Tomlin?
Look at it this way. I'm bigger, but he's faster. So I thought that if I got up really close to him, he'd lose that advantage and I'd use brute force to overcome him.
Brute force alone seldom works. That kind of blunt approach only works on opponents who don't know how to fight.
Look, are you here to give advice or take it? Although, yeah, you're right. I've experienced that for myself. I tried a few times, but whenever I went to grab him, he'd wriggle out of the way. Then, during one attempt, he grabbed my hand, tripped me, and put me in a headlock. At which point all I could do was eat dirt in that pigsty where Tomlin likes to fight.
Sakra. That doesn't bode well for me.
Well, yeah. He's certainly a handful. But I still think my plan was a good one. So my advice would be to do exactly what I did. Just be careful not to get caught like I was. He looks a bit of a milksop at first glance, but he's as strong as an ox. Keep a safe distance. Avoid making pointless strikes, and only attack him when you're sure it'll work. And when, or rather if, you manage to grab him, pound him as hard as you can. Don't let up, and don't give him a chance to turn around.
Sound advice. That makes sense. I'll try that. Do you believe in the power of thunderstones?
Of course. How else could Tomlin beat me but with the stone's help? A thunderstone is a rare and powerful thing. It's not a matter of belief. That's just the way it is. Just like when you build a cottage or a barn. You put a dead chicken or cock under the threshold to protect against disease and evil forces. You bury a pot with a few groschen and other small treasures in the corner of the room to bring the farm good fortune and protection. And on the roof, it's best to plant common house leek so lightning doesn't strike the building and set it on fire.
Wise words. When I settle down, I'll remember your advice, and I'll be sure to put house leek on top of my forge.
See you soon, my friend.
I wish you a pleasant morning.
Hey, Tomlin. People around here tell me you have a thunderstone.
People say all sorts of things.
They also say if I beat you in a fight, it's mine.
Those days are over. There was a time I'd put it up for grabs in fights with cocky fools. That much is true. I even had a couple of craftsmen come from the burg to try their luck. But everyone got a thrashing. Well, then I decided to retire. It didn't seem right, and my conscience was getting the better of me. But I have a proposition for you. The local lads like to practice their fighting moves while I watch over them. So if you fancy a fight and don't mind getting a bit dirty, you can join in and show us what you're made of.
So I've heard. The innkeeper at the Devil's Den mentioned it.
Fuck me. You know everything, don't you? But yeah, I've battered my share of sluggers down at the den, that's true. That was before the army showed up. You won't find me at the Devil's Den these days. Anyway, what about you? Want to take on the locals?
Look, that's all very well, But it's you I'm here to fight. For the Thunderstone.
Fuck's sake. You're a bleeding half-wit, aren't ya? Let's try again. I'm not fighting for the stone anymore. I found it. It's mine. I'm keeping it.
I challenge you to a fight. Let's fight for the Thunderstone. Or have I made you shit your brays?
The only shit being spouted here is from your mouth. You know you can't win, don't ya? No one's beaten me for as long as I can remember. And besides, I have the stone. So just back off and forget about it. I'm doing you a favor. Because I want to spare you the embarrassment and some pretty fucking painful bruises.
Don't try to intimidate me. We'll see who ends up with bruises, and I expect it'll be both of us. The uninitiated wouldn't notice it, but those who know how to fight can immediately see you're a cut above the rest. No wonder you have no equal in these parts. But don't you get tired of it? Now's your chance to take on someone of the same caliber. What do you say?
You're bloody right there. And I can tell you're a fighter too. So get ready. I'm really gonna enjoy this. Come by tomorrow during the day, unless you chicken out in the meantime. Are you gonna do laundry today? Yeah. There we go. Greetings, sir.
We agreed to fight, in case you forgot.
And here was me hoping you'd shit yourself and save me the hassle. But so be it. Let's do this. You know the rules. No armor. Stripped down to your waist. Then we'll meet in the pen, you'll place your wager against the stone, and then you'll get an arse-kicking.
I'm ready for this. How about you?
Always.
You've got the stone?
Don't you worry about that. I don't expect to part with it anyway. I'm looking forward to taking your coin instead. Have you got enough?
Here it is. I'm no cheat.
Trust, but back it up with proof, I always say. Well, we have everything we need.
Give it all you've got!
Victory awaits!
Ah! I'm just getting started. Ah! Yeah! Oh! Ha-ha! You never saw that coming! Useless. Kurva! I'm wounded! Oh!
Fight like little girls! Knock his teeth out!
Fuck me! You're quite the fighter.
I beat you. The prize is mine.
Yeah, you did. But it was close. I almost had you myself.
Close? Not one bit. I was all over you from the start.
Bollocks you were. You're just lucky I fucked up my back yesterday.
No need to be so upset. It's not so bad. Just a little embarrassment and a few bruises, right? But let's not waste time. You owe me my money back, and the stone along with it.
You'll get your money back, goes without saying. Here you are.
Perfect. What about the stone?
Well, I can't give you that. Because I don't have it.
What? But the stone was your stake.
No, it wasn't. It was your idea that if you won, I'd give you the stone. I didn't actually promise you anything like that.
Look, you yokel prick. Don't twist this. You tried to hoodwink me, and now you're playing word games.
I suppose it was a bit sneaky of me. But what the hell? I figured if you were up for a fight, I'd at least make a groschen or two out of it. I just wasn't expecting to lose. That's all.
But people said you have a Thunderstone. So it's all horseshit.
No, it wasn't made up. I really did find a thunderstone. And I had it right up until the other day when it was stolen. I didn't want word to get out because I'd look like a right fool. So I acted like nothing happened. I'm sorry for leading you on. I didn't mean any harm.
And do you have any idea who might have stolen it from you?
If you ask me, it was that Hansel from Rabosh and his little mate Peter. They were ever so curious about it right before it disappeared.
All right. I'll have a look for them.
Well, when you get to Rabosh, take the main road away from the fortress until you reach the first farm on the right. There are hired hands there. That much I found out. If you find the stone, please bring it back to me. I'll make sure you're well rewarded. You have my word. I was the one who found it, so by rights, it's mine. It was destined for me. To mess with fate would only bring bad luck and misfortune.
Tell me, how did you come by the stone in the first place?
That's a secret.
If you came by it honestly, why be so secretive about it?
I'm not hiding anything. I'm just not one to brag, that's all. And until it's back in my hands, I don't want to talk about it.
I can appreciate that, but sharing a story isn't exactly bragging.
All right, then. I found it a couple of years back in a field outside Billany. On the way to Wizard the Quarry. You probably know the place. I was going to take a shortcut through the woods, but there'd been a hell of a storm about a week before. It tore off roofs, carried away some shepherds' huts, even toppled the tower on those fortifications at Gutenberg. And it very nearly flushed us out of here too. A proper act of God it was. Well, the forest was a complete mess, so I couldn't go that way. So I decided I'd go through the field. And all of a sudden, I stumble over something. And what do I see? A thunderstone right under my foot. Stroke of luck it was.
Look, I won fair and square. But I still don't have that thunderstone of yours in my hand. Truth be told, I'm feeling a little cheated. You could at least throw a dog a bone, eh?
Bollocks to that. You got your wager back, so don't be getting greedy now. And you barely won anyway. If you want anything more from me, bring me back my thunderstone.
If you don't cough up, everyone far and wide will hear what a lying bastard you are and how you tried to fuck me over.
If you think you can talk shit to Tomlin Brutans, think again.
Excuse me. Greetings, my friend.
I need to find a thunderstone, and I heard you might know of one.
Oh, yeah? Who told you that, then?
Tomlin over Horsham Way told me you pinched his thunderstone. You and some Hensel fellow. So you better come clean before I let Tomlin beat the truth out of you.
Fuck me! So Bruthan's made you his lackey? As if that stone hasn't caused enough trouble already.
Watch your tongue. I'm no one's lackey. And you, go on. What happened with the stone?
We fucked up. And all because of that stupid stone. I wish we'd never taken it.
So Tomlin was right. It was you. Where's the stone now?
I haven't the faintest. It was all Hensel's idea and he had it on him the whole time. And before you ask, no, Hensel's not here. Andrew is holding him captive.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm missing something here, and it's not just the stone. So tell me, what the fuck happened?
We wanted to butcher Andrew Ramhead's band of pillagers, but that's easier said than done. So Hensel got the idea that we could borrow Tomlin Bruthan's magic stone from him to help us fight them like, but Tomlin wasn't having it, so we filched it without him knowing, and then set off after those bandits. But everything went to shit. They caught Hensel and almost killed me and Stislav. So, you come a bit late for that fucking stone. Not that it brought us any luck anyway. If I were you, I'd give it up as a lost cause.
How did your assault go?
Hensel led the way. There was him, me, and Stislav. We wore padded doublets and took hunting knives and axes. Stislav had a bow too, We got within earshot when it all went to shit. Stislav stumbled and yelped. Then they noticed us. After that, everything happened so fast. We charged at them, Hensel up front with us behind. Arrows started raining down. They all missed Hensel, but I was shot in the arm. It hurt like hell. I was screaming and scared shitless. So I took to my heels. I met back here with Stislav. They chased him, but he being so lightly dressed and them in armor, they couldn't keep up.
How many of them were there?
I'd say 5, 6.
You went up against 6 of them?
Of course not. We waited for some of them to go on patrol. That left just 3, though heavily armored they were. If we'd caught them by surprise, it might have worked.
Where's Stislav, anyway?
I don't know. He was a bundle of nerves after what happened. Packed up and left. I've no idea where he went, and I don't blame him. I'm not exactly doing great myself. It really pissed Andrew off, and now he's even nastier to the villagers than before.
Who is this Andrew Ramhead?
A mercenary commander from King Sigismund's army. He's been ordered to guard the roads with his men. Or so he says. But apart from that, they also carry out raids, rob the people, mug merchants and steal cattle. And they make the peasants pay tribute. And of course, after our fuck-up, they've turned the screws and are demanding even more. Another reason for everyone round here to hate me.
Why did you want to kill them?
Why? To stop them doing mischief round here. We wanted to help the village. We could hide in fear and moan, or do something about it. And we also wanted to make a bit of a name for ourselves among the locals.
It was brave of you. You wanted to do the right thing. I would have done the same.
Not that it did any good, but thanks. All the folk here now take me for a fool. You're the only one to see it differently.
What about the Lord in these parts? I mean, there's a fortress here, so he must have plenty of men-at-arms.
Well, the Lord has decreed that no action is to be taken. He says it's better to put up with these fuckers than to flush them out, because that might raise King Sigismund's hackles and he'd only dispatch more troops. That's what I heard, anyway.
Where can I find this, Andrew?
Are you fucking with me?
No. I'm sorry about what happened to you, but I badly need to find that stone. You don't just lose something like that. And from what you said, it seems I don't have much choice.
I'm telling you, that stone's cursed. Weren't you listening to me?
Can you hear yourself? You attacked a band of hardened mercenaries. Anyone else would have paid for that with their life, but not one of you was killed. Not to mention that this Hensel, the one with the stone, wasn't hit by a single arrow. But you were.
Sakura, I never thought of it that way. You know, you might be right.
You see? Now tell me where this camp of theirs is.
You'll come across some ponds between Raborj and Bohunjovic. Near one of them, there's a fork where wayfarers sometimes camp if they're stuck for a place to stay. From that fork, follow the water downstream, and you should find the ruins of an old mill.
And that's where they're holding Hensel? The one with the stone?
Yeah, there. But if I were you, I'd stay off the path. Take the hill and nip through the woods. You'll get to some rocks overlooking the mill. You'll have a bird's eye view of everything from there. That's the way we went too. But make sure they don't spot you. There's a good chance they've upped their guard after our attack.
Sound advice. Thanks.
Look, what's your plan anyway?
Well, I'm thinking if I can find Andrew, I'll find Hensel. And then I'll finally get to the bottom of this shit with the Thunderstone.
Just be careful, because Andrew's a cunning fucker. Look, since you're going there anyway, I know I'm not in a position to ask you for anything, but still, do you think you could rescue Hensel?
And how, pray, do you expect me to do that?
I don't know, just something. Because if you don't, I don't know who will. Andrew's a greedy bastard. Some coin might do it. Or you could sneak in quietly and slip back out with Hensel.
How about I just kill them all?
I thought best not to suggest that. You know how we ended up. But, you know, whatever you think's best. It's just, they're pretty tough and well armed, you know.
I'll manage somehow. But the whole thing's getting so messy, it's almost like the stone's power is interfering somehow. But if I find a way, I'll help Hensel.
Thank you so much! May all the saints be with you, and I hope you have better luck than we did.
By all the saints, don't leave me here! Please, untie me!
Be quiet.
Everyone get up! You whore! Enough! Leave me be! Let me live!
Give me everything.
All right. I'm going! Take it easy!
Thanks, whoever you are. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I am. All things considered. Thanks for rescuing me. You have no idea how grateful I am. God knows what they would have done to me in the end. All that aside, who are you, anyway?
Henry.
I'm Hensel, and I owe you big time, Henry. Though, in all honesty, I'm not sure why I was worth all that trouble. But grateful nonetheless.
Peter told me what happened.
Peter? Well, thank the saints for him. So he's safe and sound, is he?
In a manner of speaking. He got shot, but nothing serious.
What about Stislav?
From what I hear, Stislav made it out unscathed too. But what happened scared him so much he scarpered.
Sakra. At least he's alive. I was worried about them both. It's all my fault, you know. Oh, I dread to think what could have happened to him.
Listen, it wasn't exactly by chance that I ran into Peter either. I was looking for you in the village because of the Thunderstone you stole from Tomlin in Horsham, who, by the way, is royally fucking upset with you.
Well, I suppose I would be too if I were him. But I have to say, the whole Thunderstone idea was the stupidest I've ever had. It brought us no luck, no protection. Well, the opposite, in fact.
Let's forget that for a moment. What I really need to know is where the stone ended up.
You won't be surprised to hear. Ramed snatched it from me when I was captured. He didn't believe it had any powers, but he has a nose for money. That's all that matters to him. From what I heard, he sold it in Sukdal to some farmer's wife, I think he said, Mlada or something, well, from the edge of the village.
Sakra, that stone really is cursed. Well, there's nothing for it. I'm off to Sukdal.
Hold your horses. That wasn't the only thing I heard. There's this pond below Raborsh, right? And on the bank, across from the village, there's a small crag. Somewhere around there, they hid some of their spoils.
Well, they hid it all right, but not well enough.
What? You filched Andrew's stash? Well, good for you. Serves the bastard right. I was going to cast an eye there myself, but I see there's no need to bother now. Well, thanks again for everything, and God be with you wherever you may go.
Good morning.
I heard you bought a Thunderstone from Andrew Ramhead. Is that so?
Well, it is. What's it to you?
Andrew Ramhead took it from Hensel from Raborsh, who in turn stole it from Tomlin Brookhans down Horshan way.
And? I don't know those people. Even if it's true, I knew nothing about it. I bought the stone fair and square, and for good money. My husband's gravely ill and nothing's helping. The stone is to heal him.
And what ails your husband?
Peter went to lie down one afternoon and he hasn't budged since. He's not eating, and he's barely talking to anyone. What's worse, soon after he took ill, a Minerva owl perched on the roof one evening.
A Minerva owl? I assume that doesn't bode well, does it?
No, not at all. An owl on your roof means death is closing in. That's why I need the stone. If it weren't for the stone, I'm sure Peter would be gone by now.
So am I to understand that if your husband heals, you won't need the stone?
Well, a stone like this is a precious thing. It can still protect us from all manner of misfortune.
But you bought it to save your husband.
That may be, but I'll not be wanting to lose that stone.
How about this? I'll try to help your husband, and if I succeed, you'll gift me the stone.
Why would I do that? The stone is bound to help him.
What if the power of the stone brought me here to help your husband?
I hadn't thought of it like that.
So, how about we make a deal?
All right, but only if you help him.
Of course. I'll take a look at him and see what I can do.
And please hurry. With that owl and everything, I'm quite sure the Reaper's nearby. You'll find Peter in his room.
All right. I'll take a look at him and see if there's anything I can do. It's usually a good idea to speak to others who are close to the sufferer. That may be able to explain a few things, especially if the patient himself isn't very communicative.
Aha. I see you really have done this before. I'm starting to believe that stone really did draw you here. So, ask around on the farm if you need to. We'll all be at your service.
Perfect. I'll get on with it. And I'd better check the whole room, just in case.
Do whatever it takes to help Peter.
Can you think of something that might help me healing? Anything?
I can't. I'm desperate myself. I've tried just about everything. Peter is just an ordinary cooper. We've lived here for years. We go to church. My husband doesn't travel outside the village often. This last time he had some business in Pechkau, near Kolin, but he came back empty-handed. Breathless and confused. He was fumbling around here for a few days, not doing his job, just spending time in his workshop. Lord knows what he was doing in there. Then he went to bed, and since then, he's just been lying there. He doesn't eat. Not even the potions are helping. He doesn't sleep a wink at night. At least, I don't think he does. If I stopped sleeping too, our homestead would fall apart.
I'll ask him why he can't sleep. What's tormenting him?
Try that. He won't speak to me about anything. It's as if he was keeping secrets from me. Or maybe just protecting me from something. God be with you, sir.
Peter, my name is Henry. I'm here to help you.
Another poor bloke that's to deal with me, as if Marder didn't have enough on her plate already.
I'll try to figure out what's wrong with you. Don't be alarmed. I need to take a closer look. Let's see. No swelling. No cancer on the skin. Does this hurt?
Nothing hurts.
Your palms are cold. Your muscles are tense. And your heart's pounding so hard you could hear it all the way to Prague. You seem like you're ready to fight. Or flee.
They're getting close now.
Who is?
The soldiers. Sigismund's men.
Well, physically, you seem fine, Peter. It's strange.
I'm a weakling. A weakling.
I'll examine you. Just by eye. Pale skin. Dark circles under the eyes. A downcast expression on the face. I don't see any bruises. A few calluses and cuts on the hands. Nothing unusual for a craftsman after a hard day in the workshop.
I told you. I'm not in any pain. Just let me lie here.
Irritability. No foul odour. Bodily humours aren't leaking. And you aren't bleeding.
But I will, when Sigismund's horde gets here.
Why would Sigismund attack Suchtal?
He does as he pleases. You have no idea how many villages he's plundered already.
I reckon attacking a village protected by a fortress is the last thing Sigismund would want to do now.
The fortress is what's bothering him. That's why he'll destroy it. And us with it.
I don't know about that. What are your nights like? Mlada said you don't sleep much.
I just stare at the wall. I try to sleep during the day. But it's not much better.
Well, it's certainly no fever or pain that's ailing you. I assume it's dark thoughts that keep you up at night.
I can't fall asleep. Because of all the noblemen who keep coming to Lord Pisek's fortress. I'm always hearing hoofbeats. And they startle me.
So Lord Pisek likes to host nobles at his fortress? What's so unusual about that?
And what do you think they're doing here, eh? Preparing for war. That's what.
If Lord Pisek was about to go to war, he'd be gathering a lot more men here than a couple of nobles.
Folk ought to be scared to leave the village. Mezoles is gone. And when I saw Opatowitz, Suchtol is next. I'm sure of it.
What am I going to do with you, Peter? There's nothing wrong with you physically, so it must be an ailment of the soul. The chamomile decoctions will help calm your mind, but you'll have to change your diet as well, so you don't just drink potions. And last but not least, some words of encouragement wouldn't be amiss. You'll be back on your feet in no time. I'll get things ready and be back soon. Peter, let's talk about how we can help you. I have some suggestions for treatment.
I'm listening.
You need to start eating again, even if you don't have an appetite. First, ask Mlada to get you some honey and add it to your gruel.
You think some honey is gonna save me?
It'll give you stamina without irritating your stomach, first of all. But you have to admit Mother Nature has it well thought out. Where bloodwort helps with bleeding and feverfew with fevers, honey coats your humours so that they can't get out of balance so easily. Any melancholia wanting to take hold of you would have to make its way through thick honey, so it could hardly get from your stomach to your head. Soon you'll be as busy as a bee again, and getting on swimmingly. Which brings me to my next piece of advice. Start eating fish more regularly. Some nice fatty ones, ideally. Fat in the belly will surely stop gloom from getting through. Same as with the honey.
I suppose that makes sense.
You should drink the chamomile decoction.
Great. Another potion.
This one will help you sleep. Once your body gets used to sleeping at night and staying awake during the day, you'll feel much better. You'll see. Proper sleep will chase away the gloom. And if restlessness tries to take hold of you again, your body will have the strength to fight it. Every morning you'll be stronger and stronger until you're able to work again.
We'll see about that.
Listen, Peter. I know you're worried about the army that's set up camp over the hill. That's why I'd like to tell you something from the heart. If you're scared of Sigismund's soldiers, trust me when I tell you. When you're caught between a rock and a hard place, there's no shame in running. It doesn't make you a coward. On the contrary, you're smart enough to realize there's nothing you can do. You can always come back later when you have the advantage and deal a bigger blow to the enemy.
I just want Mlada to be safe.
Then keep reminding yourself of that. Look at me, a blacksmith's son. Why do you think I am who I am now? Because I realised I'd be of no help to my friends and family if I die for some foolish sense of honour.
You're right. I can't leave Mlada in this alone.
Don't be afraid to see the bigger picture. Even of the things you're worried about right now. A bit of prayer won't hurt. Lord, have mercy on Peter here, and lift from him the weight of his affliction. For you have laid upon him this affliction to try him. And you see that Peter, O Lord, endures your trial patiently and without contradiction. Unless you, O Lord, relieve Peter of his illness, no physician in the world can. I beg of you, O Lord, heal his soul and let his body once again find its lost balance. Amen.
Amen.
Well then, I've tried my best, and I hope it's helped at least a little. I'll come back in a few days and see how you and Mlada are doing.
It happens. Just watch where you're going next.
I examined Peter, found out what I could, and tried to cure him. I'll come back to see you in a few days. Until then, it's hard to say how things will turn out.
Thank you. I'll pray for you and for Peter's recovery.
Besides praying, you can brew up some of the chamomile decoction. It's made of wine, chamomile, and sage. You boil the ingredients briefly, then strain. It's not difficult. And even if you don't do it exactly right, it'll still help Peter.
I'll learn how to do it. Thank you very much, Henry. I hope things turn out all right. Take care.
I found the Thunderstone.
Really? Oh, God bless you, Henry. Without the stone, I don't know what I would do. Or what else could help me?
Well, you don't have to worry about that now. Take the stone. I hope it helps you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. This stone will make giving birth easier and save my baby's life.
Glad to have been of service.
I'll get Hannah to give you a lower price at the stud farm, as I promised. And you know what? I'll share a piece of wisdom my grandmother taught me. She said you need to brew nightshade with twice as much mugwort and a good splash of brandy. That's how to fix a concoction that'll clean you out at both ends and cure all sorts of ills. She used it on me after I gave birth and said it saved my life. So it could come in handy for you too sometime.
Thanks. That sounds, let's not say dangerous exactly, but definitely fascinating. I'll just make a quick note so I don't forget. Not sure I'll ever muster the courage to try it, though.
Think nothing of it. And if you want, stop by and talk to my husband, Demir. He's a very skilled man. And since you've been so helpful, if you like, perhaps he'll let you in on some of his blacksmithing secrets. Oh, and I also have some money put aside for emergencies, so you can have that. It's not much, but it's all I can give you.
Hold on to your money. I'm sure it'll come in handy for you at some point. I was glad I could help. So let's leave it at that.
Oh, Mother Mary. What a noble man you are. Thank you.